If you're not happy with your chess, it's probably because you just don't understand these two concepts completely. So let me explain. We see a pretty normal Caro-Kann go for the advance. This is one of his best moves. I do not like these variations where I block in my bishop because I want activity. He develops, I develop, I keep developing, and so here he plays the mistake to just give me back the pawn. He should develop, and in this position the computer likes these type of weird moves. I would just get my knight into the center. He has to defend, and now it's pretty complicated, to be honest. If I go here and he just takes, the point being that now I can take and take this. Apparently the other pawn is better, and now he's only up a pawn, but these are pretty weak. Let's say he defends. Um, he def I mean, you can already defend is the point probably. So now I'm threatening this. You have to defend again, and this pawn will hang with an attack. I get the beautiful position, so probably this is forced after a while, to be fair, but he just gives me back the pawn, and I just obviously took. He attacked me, I retreated. So now the first concept is just activity, so I didn't block in my bishop. I got my bishop out first before I played e6, and now I I just preserved my bishop here, so I could retreat here, but I mean, it's not really doing much, and if he wants, he could play g3, and now my bishop is actually dead. So I retreat here because it's a nice and long diagonal. He attacks my bishop. So what do? I want to maintain it on this long and nice diagonal. I could retreat here, but my bishop is pretty dead there. So I make an escape square so I can maintain this long diagonal. He goes back, which I thought was pretty weird. Why did you go here just to go back? Now I have gained a free tempo. And I castled. He attacked me, I went back. Apparently taking first is better, but I mean, it's whatever. So now my bishop is on a extremely valuable diagonal, and his king can't castle because of it. So this activity is crazy. He attacks my bishop, which is a big mistake because of take, and I did the wrong move, to be honest. So what I should be thinking here, first of all, I am controlling a lot of dark squares. Second of all, he made this very weak. So I should think about instantly infiltrating on the dark squares. That's the second concept, infiltrating. So activity and infiltrating, and they go hand in hand, by the way. Like, because of my bishop activity, I can check, and you don't have another choice but to move. And now I can instantly take here, and now because I have so much activity around his king, there's already a sacrifice. And let's say you take, then I could take this. You have to defend. I probably give a check. And now, because my bishop is so active and my queen is so active and my rook is now active, he's in big trouble. And one of the things I want to show you already, like, I infiltrated with my queen. I instantly got a lot of compensation for the knight that I sacrificed. And now, because the activity of the bishop, I could have this move already. Which is not the best move. Apparently he has counterplay, but it's still up for. And let's say I just take. Now you should retreat your bishop, which is quite weird. Probably point being that his king is now safe. So maybe rook takes. So that rook takes, queen takes isn't the best move. Here, and his king is safe again, which is weird. So now I can take a pawn and I'm just up 4 points of material, but What the main point is that I wanted to show is that it's because of the activity of my bishop that my queen could infiltrate on the dark squares. Because of my queen infiltration, I just got a lot of pawns. I got his king and safe, which meant that I could sacrifice my knight to activate my other pieces, and because of my other pieces being active, I could let my pawn infiltrate and win a knight back. So it's constantly this getting your pieces active so that you can infiltrate with your pieces, and because of their infiltration, pieces will become active. That's the point. So here I misstepped, I think. Yeah, so I went for this. So I thought weak dark squares, a lot of activity among the dark squares. Let's hop my knight in first. So again, my bishop is so active that I'm thinking about how can I infiltrate with my knight. Also, something that I learned against a 2000 is if when you push a pawn, just look for the Tetris piece behind it. So he pushed this pawn, for example, so we should look about here. This is obviously defended because of the pawn. But like everything behind the pawn is now weak and is open for infiltration. And if you see like you kind of defend this, you defend this, you kind of defend this, you defend this, but this is undefended. And I would like to hop a knight in there. Like, if I hop my knight in there, your only move is to go here. And now I infiltrated with my knight, and because of my knight infiltration, I have more knight activity. And because of more activity, I got more infiltration, therefore I got more activity. So now I should look how can I infiltrate more. So for example, I could put a queen here and I could instantly threaten a lot of discovery attacks with my queen. And it's constantly these two concepts that you should exchange. So now I'm looking for this infiltration. He pushes a pawn, so I find one of the best moves to check and infiltrate. This was not the best move. This proved to be quite annoying, actually, this pin. So now I'm up 4, but it's a completely equal game. Why am I up 4 according to the engine? Because I infiltrated my knight, I infiltrated my queen, I have a very strong bishop, my knight is fine, and I have all of the pawn breaks in my hand, which will activate my rooks, which means if my rooks activate, I will be able to infiltrate with pieces or my rooks itself. That's why it's -4, even though it's completely equal material-wise. So I don't go for the best plan. Here you have this nice tactic where you can attack the queen, and this unpins the knights and then I can just take the rook. And if you take the knight, I can check you, which is defended by the way, but your queen is now hanging. So that's a beautiful tactic. I sacrifice the bishop to lure your queen into a undefended square, so I can royal fork you, but you can defend against the royal fork, but your queen is now undefended because I lured you into a undefended spot, after which I can take this, and now I have a open foul, which means that if you do something stupid, I can activate my rook, and because of my rook activation, I will have rook infiltration. And the maiden one, but I mean, let's say he doesn't blunder that, rook activation, you have to leave, and this means I get rook infiltration, for example, which will be one of the better moves. And after, for example, this, I could consider sacrificing again, because if you take, it leads to a mate, yeah, because I can activate my rook again, and after rook activation, there follows rook infiltration. So now I'm infiltrating like this, and I think this is the clinical move. Yeah, and you just have to sacrifice. Oh, because my rook is attacked. So I have to take this first, and the next move will follow checkmate. So it's this constant flow of trying to activate your pieces in order to try and infiltrate your pieces. But because you infiltrate your pieces, you activate them so that you can infiltrate again. That's why if you have followed me for a couple of days, you will probably know the sentence, when in doubt, just throw your pieces forward. And that actually helps me a lot. Just throw them forward, try to activate, try to infiltrate, and that's pretty much the only thing I did. So I tried to infiltrate with my queen. I calculated this, which would probably be nope, nope, not better. Um, yeah, so one thing is I'm attacking him, so I shouldn't trade pieces, and I calculated here you have to block, and my best move is to take. But I do not want to take, is the point. And after this you can just defend, and I'm still winning, but I don't want to trade queens when I'm attacking and your king is unsafe. So I went for this, I missed this tactic, and I went for rook activation. He defended, and I went for a pawn break. So in the last couple of videos, we had also a lot of examples of if you are more active than your opponent, you should just break open the center. And he blundered, so he should have taken, move the king. I can put more pressure. You can defend against the pressure. Then I take, knight takes probably, yes. And now I can attack this again. And you can defend this again. And I can do this pawn break, which I don't really understand. So take, not even to rook take to go after this, which hangs a knight. I can take this now, which I could have done on the previous move as well. You have to defend. I take this, even up though I'm completely losing. And if you take your worse, because take, and you have an extra rook for a piece. So you have to do this. Because I just slipped my pawn through. That's wow. Okay, bro. You just cannot stop my pawn somehow. Now I can check. You have to move. What if you go here? And then I can sack my rook. Take. Okay, fair enough, because your bishop doesn't see this anymore. And after we... Wow, check. Go here. Take the rook. Fair enough. After takes... Oh, this is beautiful. I would instantly go here. And then start pushing my pawn, but the engine wants me to actually stop his counterplay first, which is something we learned from my me playing like 3 games and losing all 3, even though I'm up like a lot of material. Stopping counterplay, it's quite a huge thing in endgames, and I learned it the hard way, but I'm happy I can teach it you the easy way. So if you don't want to miss out on those tips, subscribe for sure. I basically went up 2 pawns 2 times and 3 pawns 1 time, and I drew and lost 2. So, yeah. So, I mean, this was a mistake, but he blundered, and I took this, and apparently taking this was smarter, but I just gave a check first, and I won a pawn. So now I'm up a pawn. So first of all, up material. Second of all, I infiltrated with my knight. I still have this very active bishop, and I have active rooks. So with a lot of activity, probably the thing you should think about is infiltrating. So what did I do? I infiltrated with my rook, even though my knight is hanging. I calculate that if you take, I can take, and if you don't stop my threats. I can, first of all, take this knight. Second of all, I have a check, and I still have this strong bishop, and now my knight is actually defended. So I calculated that I could sack a knight, so I could gain your bishop and infiltrate with my rooks. So I have a lot of activity, so I just infiltrate. Oh, this happened. Yeah, so you went here, and this is instantly a blunder. So you should constantly think about activity. If you have a lot of activity, you should try to infiltrate and combine those two concepts with a lot of tactical vision. If you see Maiden 5, Maiden 5 is quite hard, isn't it? Well, best move, best move, best move. I found the Maiden 5. So first of all, those two concepts of constantly activating and constantly infiltrating, combined with a lot of puzzles and good tactical vision, you will be unstoppable. Like, people will be scared to play you. I swear to God. So, this is just a blunder, and I already foresaw that if I sagged the knight, like I saw this all the way here, by the way, I saw that if I did this, I had this threat, I had this threat. If you sack your queen for my rooks, my knight is not actually pinned anymore. I could take this, attacking this, defending this, and setting things up like going here with this pin. And if you take this, I can always retreat with a check and reactivate my queen. Maybe even sacrificing my knight if needed, but if I can activate my queen with a check, my knight is still trapped, but if I see that it's strong enough. So I saw this sacrifice to reactivate my knight so I could re-infiltrate with my knight, with my queen I meant. So I took a free piece because this doesn't work yet. If I check, you can leave. And if I take, for example, you can sack your queen, take. And here I don't actually have a lot of infiltration. I could check you, you leave, and my knight is trapped. I'm still winning, by the way. Check, go there, check, go here. He's constantly keeping himself on the light squares, by the way. That's what's happening. So here you have to go there, after which I can take this and my knight isn't trapped anymore. Okay, that's beautiful, that's beautiful. You can... Oh, nope, that's defended. Okay, so... And see what that was? I was constantly checking him and keeping my queen infiltrated until I got this fork. So I'm just constantly infiltrating with my queen and all of a sudden I just have a fork. If not forced mate, so... It's still the same thing. But I mean... He just blundered and I had the tactical vision because of all of my activity. And by the way, this person was above my peak rating. My peak rating is 1856 if I'm not mistaken. This guy was 1870 or something. So this guy was almost a 1900 and I just used those two concepts with a lot of tactical vision and completely obliterated him. So subscribe if you don't want to miss out on these tips and I will see you in the next one.